Day trading steps. So in this video, I'm going to break down some of the steps that you guys need to be familiar with. And also the purpose of this video is so you guys can understand my routine, what I'm looking at, what are the main focus points I look for as a day trader. So when I do break down the upcoming trades in this lesson, you guys can actually connect one and one together and have a better understanding, right? So now, what are some of the day trading steps? Now, some things that you guys have to keep in mind when you guys are starting as day traders is the following. First, you have to start your day at an early time, right? So I start my day at around 8 a.m. So at 8 a.m., I like to be in front of my computer. Now, having a routine, that's up to you. Some people like to be up at 7 a.m., meditate, go to the gym, shower, whatever the case is. But I like to be in my office at 8 a.m. ready to trade. Now, me being in my office at 8 a.m. means I have about an hour and a half before the market opens. Now, depending on wherever you are around the world, your timing is going to be a little bit different, but the main thing I want you to take away is that you should be in front of your computer 1 hour and 30 minutes before the market opens. That's the first thing. Second, eliminate all distractions and be in a location where you can focus and lock in. So right now I have an office where I trade out of. When I didn't have an office, I would have a corner in my room, and in that corner I would lock my door and just trade and kind of cut out all distractions, right? So you don't want to be in like a very loud area where people are talking, people are making a lot of noise. You want to be locked in and like legitimately focused so you can actually absorb all the information coming your way. Next, look at the big picture, stock profile, and price action. So every morning when you do come to your computer, these are the three things we're going to focus on. I'm going to break down the three things. You're going to look at the big picture, you're going to look at the stock profile, and then price action. These are going to give you an idea of what to do for the day. Now, once that happens, once you look at those three, that's when you're going to create your focus list for your daily game plan and set up your charts. I like to have the 1 minute and 5 minute charts up. So basically, the whole idea of this is when the market does open at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right? When the market does open, you now have a game plan. You have now looked at the overall market. You now know what stocks you're going to trade, why you're going to trade them, what you're looking for. So you're going to have a very strong understanding of the market before you dive into it. Now, where a lot of people mess up is the market opens at 9:30 a.m. They roll out of bed at 9:10 a.m. and they think that they can go and trade without knowing anything. Now, obviously, if you get to a very, very high successful level where you get a very deep understanding of the market, this will be possible here and there. But if you want to have the highest level of success, I really recommend you be in front of your computer about an hour and a half before, right? Absorbing all the information, looking at everything, having a routine. And once again, I'll break down a structured routine in part 15. Having a routine where you can really understand what's the market doing, what am I going to look at, why am I looking at this, what am I looking for this stock to do. So when you do start trading, you're very well prepared. Now, what is the big picture? Let's break these three things down. Now, the big picture, the whole idea of the big picture is whenever you get in front of your computer in the morning, the main thing you always want to start off with is you want to start off with the overall market, right? You want to look at, is the market trending up or down, right? What is moving the market? So if let's say pre-market, the market is up. Why is the market up? Let's say pre-market, market is down. Why is the market down? Some days the market may be flat, right? But you want to have an understanding during pre-market of what is happening to the overall market. Once you have an idea of what's happening to the overall market, it becomes a lot easier for you to find plays, right? Next, what is the market focusing on for the day or concerned about? Is there a Fed's meeting today? Is Trump going to speak? Is there some sort of economic event that's supposed to come out? Is anything happening today that the market is focused on or worried about? Right? There's days, there are events, there are things going on that the market is heavily focused on, and it's waiting for that time or waiting for that event to come up. So you want to have these things narrowed down. And next thing, once you kind of identify that, you want to look at what are the most important technical levels in our markets, right? What is price action saying? For example, you're gonna focus on SPY, ES, and VIX. They will help you understand that, right? Now, looking at SPY or ES is gonna give you an idea of the overall market, and VIX is gonna give us an idea of the fear factor in the market. Now, let's say we look at SPY. Let's say there's 30 minutes to go till the market opens, right? We look at SPY and we see that SPY is out of a critical level. Let's call it 292. Let's say $292 was a critical level for SPY. SPY pre-market is breaking it. SPY in the pre-market is looking strong. Now, if we see that the market is looking strong, we'll be like, okay, why is the market strong? Why is the market up? Some days you'll have news, some days there won't be any news and the market just looks strong. Now, the market may be up because the China trade deal happened. The market may be up because some good economic news came out, right? A lot of factors could cause the market to go up or down. Once we understand that, now our focus becomes on looking at stocks that are more on the buying side, right? Because think about it, the market is going up and the market looks strong. Majority of the stocks are going to be up for the day. Why would I want to short, or why would I want to buy puts? My primary focus for the day at that particular moment is going to be to look at stocks that are presenting buying opportunities alongside with the market, right? That's where you want to look at the big picture first, because that also helps you identify what stocks to look for. Now, once you look at the big picture and you understand what the overall market is doing, the next thing you want to look at is you want to look at the stock profile, right? You want to look at pre-market movers, stocks that are up or down 2%, obviously depending on the stock, with strong pre-market volume. Now, obviously seeing a stock like Apple, Microsoft, BA, BABA, Amazon up 2%, that's a lot, okay? Now, if you see a stock like Seal, right, which is a very, very small company, their company valuation is, I think, $30 million, compared to Apple, who are valued above $1 trillion, that 2% makes a huge difference here opposed to a company like Seal. So obviously, if I see Seal up 2%, I don't really care. But if I see Apple, BA, Amazon up 2%, that's a big deal, right? So you want to identify, depending on the stock, how much it's up or down by. And obviously by now you should have a strong understanding of what type of stocks you want to trade. Are you trading the big names? Are you trading the penny stocks? Like, what are you trading and what are you going to focus on? So that's the first thing, pre-market movers. Is there any pre-market movers? Is anything moving up or down? Next, is there any catalyst? Now, sometimes a stock may only be up 1%, maybe 0.5%, maybe 2% max, or maybe it may be up 1% on a very strong volume, but there's a catalyst. Maybe they had earnings, maybe an upgrade, maybe a downgrade, maybe something with investigations, any sort of catalyst that may possibly push the stock up or down. So for example, let's say it's pre-market, we see NVIDIA, NVDA. NVIDIA is up about 1.5% on, let's say, 400K volume, right? We go, why is NVIDIA up? NVIDIA is up because they got 2 upgrades, meaning that analysts are saying that their stock price will basically go higher, or the company's worth more than it's currently valued at. Now, sometimes NVIDIA right on the open isn't going to move, but throughout the day, it may start fluctuating. So NVIDIA at that point becomes a stock that I tend to focus on now, because there's some sort of catalyst behind that move. Sometimes the catalyst could be earnings. Stock could be up 20% for the day because they had great earnings. The stock can be down 15% because they had terrible earnings. So looking at the catalyst factor helps us understand, why is the stock up, why is the stock down, and we're able to kind of narrow the picture down and have a good understanding. And then another thing you guys can look at is there any anticipation of good or bad news, such as a company event announcing a new product or service, right? Sometimes there may be some anticipation, right? Something may be possibly happening with this company, news of another competitor coming out with something, some sort of hype around that stock, right? So looking at that aspect is also very important. And obviously when you guys start following some stocks over and over again, you start understanding the backstory, you start understanding what's moving it up or down. And then finally, the last thing you're going to look at is price action. Is the stock in obviously an uptrend, downtrend? what are the critical levels, long-term and short-term. And when I say long-term and short-term, what I mean by that is if obviously we're looking at a 3-year, 1-day chart for Apple, those levels on a daily chart are going to be a lot different than the levels I apply on an intraday chart. And I'll show you guys examples of that. Next, is there any setup on price action such as a pattern? Is there a pattern that the stock is potentially forming? If there is, what is it? How do I look to go about it? And then look at the history of the chart to understand the price action on a deeper level. Whenever you guys come across a stock for the first time, it's good to go back in history and understand the price action level. How does the stock react around support? How is it around resistance? How does the stock move on the open? How does it move midday? Like what happens, right? When you start looking into that, you start getting a solid understanding about that particular stock, which is why when you guys start trading the same name over and over and over again, you start getting a very, very, very good connection with that stock and knowing what makes it go up, what makes it go down, and how it actually reacts. Now, these are the 3 things I look at. I'm going to show you these 3 things on each of the stocks I go through in the upcoming videos. Now, before I show you that, these are some day trading rules I want you guys to keep in mind, okay? Number 1, as a day trader, you have to have extreme patience. You need to be very, very, very patient. If you don't have patience, you're not going to be able to make it out as a trader. And then when you jump into day trading, it's just not going to work out at all. So you need to develop patience. If you don't have patience, it's okay. This is one of those things that you can and you should develop, especially as a trader. So this is what very well needed. So right now, if you're like, I don't have patience, cool. You're self-aware. You understand you don't have patience. How can you get patience? How can you work towards it? Because if you don't have this one skill set, it's going to affect you, especially when you're day trading. Confidence. You need to build confidence. As a day trader, you need a lot of confidence. If you don't have confidence, it's going to make it very hard for you to pull the trigger. It's going to make it very hard for you to execute. So you want to make sure you have confidence. The way you get confidence is through practicing. And obviously, when you start trading with real money, trade with less money, and then start building that confidence up slowly and slowly. And then as that increases, day trading or trading itself will become a lot easier. And I understand initially this is very, very hard to get. Next, you have to be very, very flexible, right? If you're not flexible as a trader, you're gonna have a very hard time. When I say be flexible, I mean, let's say you enter stock assuming that it's gonna go up. It goes up a little bit and the trade reverses. You have to be able to recognize that and exit instead of holding on to that trade. Okay. Next, discipline. You need to have extreme discipline, especially as a day trader. Trading itself requires discipline, but as a day trader, your discipline has to be at an extreme level where you can follow your plan, where you actually cut your losses, where you actually know when to get in, when to get out, and you're looking at the chart, you're looking at price action, and you're not actually looking at your trading account. You should be trading off your chart, not your trading account, and discipline is required there so you can actually follow your plan, follow all the rules you set out, and actually cut losses and take profits when you should be doing so. Next, understand that there is risk involved and accept the risk. Now, obviously, this should be accepted or applied to every sort of trading, but you need to understand this. Like starting out, like you need to understand, like, hey, I'm gonna trade Apple, I'm gonna trade Roku, I'm gonna trade BA, I'm gonna trade Baba, whatever stock I may possibly trade, there is going to be risk. The risk that's going to be involved, how much am I willing to risk on the trade? $300 or $3,000. Cool. If I'm wrong, I lose $300. I'm okay with it. If I'm wrong, I lose $3,000. Am I okay with that? No. So this is what you're going to take, and this is what you're going to accept. All right, I lost $300 and move forward. Next, have a max loss amount. As a day trader, you want to have a max loss amount. You want to say, you know what? If I lose more than $1,000 a day, and this is all in risk management, guys, if you don't have this set out right now, go back to risk management and create these levels or numbers for yourself so you kind of have a roadmap to work with at this point. So have a max loss amount, showcasing that, hey, the max I can lose for the day is 1,000. If I lose 1,000, I'm walking away, right? Because you don't want to lose $1,000 and keep trading and over trading, and now you're down $2,500 for the day. So you want to keep that in mind. Next, make sure you have a plan going into the trading day. If you guys are day trading Every single morning you should have a plan. You should know what you're looking to do, what you're waiting for the stock to do. If you don't have a plan, don't just randomly open up a computer and just trade and think you're going to make a lot of money. That's not how trading works. It requires a lot of preparation. So make sure you're prepared for each and every single trading day and you show up. And then finally, create your own rule book once you have a deeper understanding on your trading. Once you start trading consistently, guys, once you start getting better, or even if you're not getting better, you're just trading consistently, you're gonna start noticing what your major issues are. You're gonna start noticing what rules do you have to set, right? Some rules that some people have is, hey, this is a rule I had myself when I first started. Hey, if I'm not up 1 hour before the trading time, like if the market opens at 9:30, if I'm not at my computer by 8:30, I'm not allowed to trade. Why? Because I've noticed that when I trade, when I wake up at 9 and I try to trade for the day, I consistently lose money. So I need to make sure that 9:30 is not the time I'm aiming for. I'm aiming for 8:30, right? If I have 4 losing trades in a row, I need to close my laptop and walk away, not just stare at the computer and tell myself I'm not going to trade. So these are rules that you need to set out. And you're going to start getting a better understanding of these rules and a better understanding of what rules to set out once you start trading with real money. So these are some of the rules, and this is just an overview of day trading. And the reason, once again, I went over this is so you guys can understand my mindset as I show you guys the upcoming trades. Now, the upcoming trades I show you, some are going to be losing trades, some are going to be winning trades. They're all going to be a little bit different, mixed type of trades. But the whole idea is for you to understand how I approached it, what I could have done better, where I did a great job, and for you guys to take the same concept and apply it into your own trading.